For those of you who recognize this can, you're probably just as old as I am, or maybe slightly older. This really brings back so many memories for me. It's something my mom, she kept a lot of this in the pantry, and she had this one dish which very traditional. You usually take it out of the can, empty it and cook it with bee hoon. So today we're going to replicate that. Very simple dish. Everything is coming from the can and this dish comes together really quickly. So first thing you want to do is get your heat going, medium high. Oh, by the way, this is not sponsored, yeah? You can find this in most Chinese provision stores or the supermarket. So this is actually pork trotters with chestnuts and mushrooms, and it has its own braising liquid. It sounds a bit iffy if I'm being honest, but it tastes so good and I really hope you give it a try. I rehydrated some mushrooms because I love mushrooms and I wanted some of the liquid from the rehydration of the mushrooms to have it part of the dish. And we're going to start frying our rehydrated mushrooms. Get the fragrance out from the mushrooms. Okay, after that, you're gonna empty out 2 cans of the pork trotters. So everything from the can into the pan. And we're just gonna bring this up to a boil. When you get it out of the can, you'll realize that it comes in big chunks and it's got bones in it. So what I've done is I've actually taken out the bones. I think it's much easier when you eat them, but you most certainly can leave that in. Just that, you know, if you're having this with your kids like I am, just remove it. And before you start cooking as well, your bee hoon or your vermicelli, soak this beforehand. So you want to again rehydrate the bee hoon. What I'm going to do is remove everything from the inside and just keep the liquid in there. So recently over the Chinese New Year period, we visited one of our friends' houses. This friend of ours, her mother, who is in her late 70s, she cooked this dish. And I've never had this since maybe early 20s. I mean, that's almost 30 years ago. So when I had it at the house, the first mouthful, I was straight away transported back into my home's kitchen before. That's why I said to myself, I gotta hunt down that and also try to replicate this dish. And my son fell in love with it for some reason. So we're gonna toss our bee hoon in here just after this. So this dish is quite flexible in a sense that you have an option to either have it rather dry, or if you want it, you can have it a little bit more saucy. Whatever liquid that's in the can already should be enough, but because bee hoon actually soaks up a lot of the liquid very quickly, and it also depends when you're going to serve it to your friends and family. So I'm actually going to add in some liquid in here. I've taken the liquid from the mushrooms earlier when it was rehydrating. So I'm just going to add in about 200 mils of this. Next, what we're going to do is add in some seasoning. So here I've got abalone sauce. So abalone sauce is pretty much like oyster sauce, but you know, obviously with the name, it's made from abalone instead of oysters. And oyster sauce is slightly on the sweet side. This one gives a little bit more umami. And also 2 tablespoons of dark soya sauce just to give it some coloring. We'll mix everything together. So then we're going to add back in all of the pork and the mushrooms that we took out earlier. So because the pork has some fats in there already, so it's also gonna help thicken this liquid slightly. Next, we're gonna cover it and let it braise for about 2 minutes. Alright, 2 minutes are up. Wow, it smells amazing. So already some of the liquid has been soaked up by the bee hoon. So the next thing we're going to do is add in vegetables. I used just normal, I believe this is Shaoxing. Then we're going to add in some Chinese cooking wine. Again, this is optional, and then give everything a mix. So we're done. We switch off the heat and just let this sit for maybe 10-20 seconds and we can serve. I must admit, I think it's one of the faster recipes we've done. And as I said, those of you who do remember having this when you were much younger, wow, the memories it's going to bring back. Oh, so good. It really does remind me of my childhood. The pork is, I mean, it's already tender. The chestnuts, mushrooms, it's just a beautiful combination and so simple. So I really hope you try this. Let me know how it goes as usual, and we'll see you on the next one. right. Ooh, so good.